Alrighty y'all, so today I'm going to be working on a 2012 GMC Sierra 1500. I am doing the valve cover gasket. I'm doing the one on the passenger side. Now to preface, I have already started taking some of the stuff apart. So some of the things that I'm going to be pulling apart right now, I have already pulled apart, but I just located them in their places so y'all can see how to do this and how easy this is to do by yourselves. Hopefully this will save you a little bit of money if this is an issue that you're having and there's something that you need to fix. Like I said, hopefully this will put you on the right path or enlighten you a little bit. So for starters, you're going to remove the cover off of the little engine cover here. It's simple, it just pops up, you slide it out. It's very simple. Toss that to the floor. Okay, so now you have the heater core lines. So you simply want to move those out of the hanger where they locate, they just hang in place. So as you come around, you got this thing that holds it in place. These are just for the heater cores, and you have a stud. It's a 10mm stud, so you want to loosen this stud, take it out, put that to the side, and now you will have 3 other 10mm studs like so that hold the whole assembly in place for the spark plug wires. This is for your ignition coils, should I say. So your ignition coils, they come on like a little rail, so you don't want to take them off individually. Like each one has a 10mm bolt at the top and a 10mm bolt at the bottom. You don't want to take those off individually. They come complete on a rack. So after you loosen that one stud that holds the hoses in place, you want to come over here, and this is the main plug. So you simply want to move this little pin. It's like a little safety clip, plastic little clip that holds it in place. So you just simply want to pull that out, and you simply want to just pop this clip up. I don't know if I could do it. I should have did that first, but you simply want to pop that clip and pull that out. And then, like I said, you want to find the other 3 10mm studs, like so. They're gonna look like this. You typically have one over here, this one that was holding this, and you have another one here, another one further back. So you simply want to loosen those. And then before you do that, you actually want to pull your spark plug wires out. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna put my phone down here for a second. So there's the whole rail with all the ignition coils on it. You definitely want to pull the spark plug wires off of the coils first. That's definitely the first thing you want to do. I should actually started by showing y'all that. That was my fault. And then you have 4 8mm bolts. You can see that. So you have 4 8mm bolts that run across the middle of the valve cover. You simply want to break them all loose first, just in case you have any one that's a little bit further in than any of the rest. So like I said, you simply just want to break them all loose first, and then you'll be able to pull the valve cover off, and then you'll be able to replace the new gasket, replace the new seals that go around these bolts right here, and then you pretty much just assemble everything back in reverse order. So now there is a sequence to tweaking or to twerking these down. I believe it's like 8 foot-pounds or something like that on these bolts that hold the valve cover on. I simply do it by hand. I just go like hand tight and then maybe a little bit more, just so you don't push the bolts in too far, and then you have a problem then that creates a leak, because now the seal kind of like pushes out. So you don't want to create that issue. Now you do have to start, like say you start with so we'll say this is number 1, this is number 2, then you have 3 and 4. So you would put start them all in is what I typically do. I get them all snug, and then you have to go to this one, tighten it down a bit. You come to this one, you tighten it down, you go to the next middle one, and then you go to the further back one, and that's the order you're supposed to do it in. There is an order for doing this. Don't just like start on one end and then work your way down. Like I said, you want to kind of like crisscross, so you want to go start with the third one back, and then you come to the first one, then you go to the second one, then you go to the fourth one, and you snug them all down, and then just go back over them, make sure they're all hand tight, because obviously once you tighten one down a little bit, then the next one might get a little loose, or as it sucks it in, it's going to become a little bit loose. So that's typically what you want to do. It's very simple. I mean, something like this might not cost much when you're going to the mechanics and things like that, but if it could save you a couple dollars, why not? I'm having to do it, so I figure why not share this information with anybody else who might need it. Oh, another thing is, well, I have a cold air intake, so I have a hose that goes into my valve over here, my PCV valve. So this is simply just pop it off. That's how it works for me. Yours might be a little different, but the concept is the same. There's going to be a little hose that goes into your whether you have the factory intake or whether you have a cold air intake like I do. I mean, this is very simple. Just slides onto that pole piece that goes into this valve, into the valve cover. Just simply slip it off. It's very simple, nothing complicated. And like I said, the only thing that's really important is when you're reinstalling it after you've put all the new seals. It's crucial that you follow the order. Like I said, 3, 1, 2, 4. So this is going to be 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. So as long as you follow that order as you're reinstalling it, you should be fine. Go hand tight, don't overdo it. Overdoing is going to give you more problems than anything. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Hopefully I can save you a little bit of money, and you're willing to take the challenge upon yourself, take the task on and do it. That's how we learn, is by doing things, trial and error. You might not get it all at the first time, so you might have to watch the video a couple times to get and reference what I am doing here and what I'm showing you. But hopefully, like I said, this video is educational and it helps you. And all right, y'all, God bless, have a good day. And another thing I wanted to add, make sure your mating surface, make sure it is clean. Clean it off, make sure there's no oil, no residues, no nothing. Typically on these mating surfaces, like so, I don't like using like brake cleaner or anything like that. Especially don't spray it in here, because obviously that gets into your engine. You can put a little bit on the end of a towel or something, a rag, wipe it down, clean it. I typically use like rubbing alcohol. It's a little bit less abrasive on stuff, and obviously it's just a little bit of alcohol, so it's not really going to do anything. Like I said, just dab a little bit on a napkin, paper towel, a rag, whatever, and just come in here and make sure you clean your surface. Make sure you have a really good clean surface that's oil free. Same thing with the bolts that hold the valve cover on. Make sure there's no oil on the end of them. Clean them off. Like I said, you can spray those with a little bit of brake fluid, or brake cleaner should I say. Clean them down, make sure there's no oil on them, because if there's any oil on those bolts as you're tightening them down, because of the oil, you could slip. And when you slip, because you think you're not getting tight enough, you might actually break the bolt inside the head, and that's something you don't want to do. So because you're over tightening it without knowing. So make sure that you clean the mating surface pretty good. Like I said, use like a rubbing alcohol, something that's not so abrasive or aggressive, just to get a good clean seal. And also clean the valve cover when you replace the gasket, which I'm going to show y'all. So this, I sprayed it down with a little bit of brake cleaner, cleaned it off. I got the inside a little bit, and you want, like I said, you want to make sure you go in this groove. Make sure you clean that groove out really good. These screws, like I said, you want to make sure there's no oil on them. Clean as much of the debris off of them. And to get the old little grommets off of them, I just cut these off. They're old, they're getting tossed away anyways, so you're not there struggling trying to get them off or whatever. I just cut them and then just slide the new ones on. But like I said, spray this down, especially this threaded end. Make sure that's really clean, free of oil, free of anything. You know, you don't want no contaminants on this, and you don't want no contaminants along here either when you're replacing the seal. So alrighty, y'all, hopefully this was helpful, and I will be adding this to the video. Alright, y'all, have a great day.